It was an incoming tide, and we were working quickly to beach launch the boat on a blue sky day in Exmouth, Western Australia. My expectations are always high at the start of any day's fishing around Exmouth. Jutting as it does into the Indian Ocean about halfway between Perth and Broome, it is one of our prime sport fishing locations in Australia. You never know what might turn up out here. Inside the Gulf itself, there's an interesting mix of tropical and subtropical species, as well as habitat ranging from relatively shallow coral and limestone reef to extensive sand flats, where we had planned on sight fishing for permit. Looks can be deceiving, however, and this perfectly calm day had been preceded by a cyclone only a few days earlier, dumping a huge amount of rain in the surrounding desert country, equivalent to the area's yearly rainfall. Cold, dirty water on the flats had sent us searching for a plan B.
Not a big one.
Here we go. Yep, got him.
Got him, well done. Nice fish though.
Right under the boat.
I might get my fly out then.
There's a few of them there. Oh, he won't be far.
Work it up.
Yep, he knows he's hooked now, I think. There he is.
Good fish?
Good one. There he is. Oh, he's a good one.
You're losing some line there, John.
Yeah, he's almost got me into the backing.
Down.
It's a nice queenie.
That's a good queenie.
They're great sport fish, aren't they?
Nice. Nice. Gotcha. That's it. They roll its back over towards me a little. That's better. Smile. I just saw up here a big queenie chasing one of those gars.
Yep. That's
And
what
there's,
they're after.
there's a lot of big queenies here. They're a little bit doughy. The water's cold, but you know we've got techniques for making them. I think bigger. I'm going to put on a much bigger fly.
See if we can tease one up. Another one.
Yep. Right, a bigger fly. Let's say I'm a visitor to this place and I don't, you can get a reasonable picture of where the fish are going to be, but they're not always there. Putting a hookless popper out helps you cover a hell of a lot more water. You know, another thing about using poppers like this as teasers is that there's a little bit of teamwork involved. You know, you've got to get your timing and you switch from the popper to the fly. And it's fun. Yeah, that's all I'm using. It's a well-weighted pencil popper style thing. Because there's no obvious structure here and no obvious fish feeding on top, there's no birds, it actually looks pretty dead. So I'm just casting this around the area, around the general area, where we got that last fish, and see if I can bring him in. And then perhaps John will be able to have a shot. quick, quick, quick. Just came cruising in and... Yes! Well done.
Anything like that. Oh. Might get a double hook out.
I get a double, yeah. I just got to get this popper over. Just drop it.
Swim towards. I think I dropped it. Yep, I have.
Oh no.
No, I
No,
haven't.
you haven't.
Coming straight
Just a
towards
bit doughy.
No, he's not doughy now.
And I'll stand by to see if any mates come in with it. Yeah, I'm on.
You got another one?
Yeah.
Double hook.
What a wonderful day.
Yes.
What a beautiful day.
I can't think there's too much else I'd rather be doing.
Nice fish, John.
Great fish.
This cooler water has more oxygen in it, so they've really got some stamina for queenfish, you know. Their other name, of course, is a skinny. They don't have a huge body mass, but a nice big side-on plate. That's a good fish. Always the tricky bit of landing fish like this on a 9-foot fly rod. Oh. Just trying to close the deal here. Well hooked around the jawbone. That's a DNA fly. Great pattern. Okay.
This seems to be the spot where we're finding them. There they are right there.
I'll let this sink a little. I'm using an intermediate line. The water here is only, what depth are we in? 10, 11 feet. So it's not deep at all. And these, of course, being pelagic fish that feed right through the water column, will come to the surface. But these particular fish are a little reluctant to come right up, so I'm letting my fly sink down to them. And sometimes they're eating it dead in the water as it slowly sinks. But other times they're following it up and eating it on top. We've got a bit of a mixed bag happening. One of the things about fishing a place like this is being prepared with different fly lines. The waters of Exmouth Gulf aren't particularly deep, but on a spring tide you've got strong current flows, and you want a fly line that'll get down, if you're over the deeper reef, around 30 feet. So a reasonably fast sinking line, but most of the fishing I do here is around the edges of the Gulf and around the islands. And you could really get away with just one flow line in most situations, and that would be a full intermediate. Sinks at around 2 to 3 inches a second. It is a great fly line, and I probably use it for 90% of my saltwater fishing, in particular in shallow areas. The line I've got on this rod is a floater, but it has an intermediate tip. It's a 10-foot intermediate tip, so the tip sinks slowly. I particularly use this for fishing for permit and golden trevally and other species on the flats. I really like this fly line. And that keeps the fly down deep when you start your retrieve. It keeps it down near the bottom. The other fly line I use a great deal here is a floater, rigged with a popper, or I'll rig it with a crease fly. And this line will deliver those flies beautifully for when the fish are up on top and smashing poppers and when they're in a really angry mood. Floating line. Also use it a lot around the edges, around the margins, the really shallow stuff, along the mangrove fringes and along the rock edges. We've spot locked with the motor guide onto the spot where we've found the biggest concentration of them. They're actually scattered all over this area. We've found a fair concentration of them around this particular patch. There's nothing significant here to our view, but certainly there must be to the fish. Must be either there's shelter or there's a lot of food coming through here, or it's a good ambush point. Something's happening here to keep them in this area.
In these calm conditions, they should be able to see it from a long way off, hopefully.
See it and hear it.
Yeah.
There comes one.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
That's a quality Exmouth Gulf queenfish, and on an incoming tide, a lot of garfish about, and a gang of big queenies here feeding on the garries. Whoop. I think they're very, very well fed. Come on. Yeah. The rest of the world envies us these fish, these great sport fish. Got a mate with him. Got a mate tracking them, they often do that. Hook fish will very often spew up their gut contents, and other fish see it as an opportunity to get an easy feed, or sometimes they probably just wonder what's going on. Queenies are such an honest fish, you know. Clean fighting. This trip, the queenies have been in a very strange and difficult mood. The water suddenly got very cold. The water temp dropped probably 3 degrees when we arrived. And the fishing's been a little bit slow, but we've had a couple of days like this and the water temps are warming up. Always a good thing for tropical fish. Dropped down as low as 20 degrees over the last few days, but it's certainly picked up now, and 22.8. There we go. Beautiful fish on a beautiful Exmouth Gulf day. Superb. These are not a fish that keep very well out of the water for very long, so I'm just going to get that back in right away. There we go. Off we go, mate. Yep. Nice. Good stuff. We earned that fish. Rio manufactures many different fly lines. Some are general purpose and others are quite situation specific. Their website is crammed with great information on their range of lines and on line selection. For 25 years, Sage rods and reels have been my fly fishing tackle of choice. Their range is extensive and is as diverse in the range as they are in price. To understand more about what Sage do and their outstanding range of fly rods and reels, I suggest you go to their website.